Modern garden strawberries can be successfully grown in a pot. It is also called large-fruited strawberry, or Fragaria annanasia in Latin, the Rosaceae family, genus Fragaria. All varieties of modern strawberries, and about 2,000 of them were bred already, are octoploid hybrids, and therefore do not reproduce by seeds. Only some newly obtained hybrids can be grown from seeds, and only in the first F1 generation. So almost all modern strawberries reproduce vegetatively with runners due to a natural hybridization barrier. And you can watch a video on our channel revealing the truth about trying to grow strawberries from seeds. If that's something that interests you, the link is below. To grow strawberries in a pot, you first need to choose a hybrid variety that is best suited in the climate in which you live. Frost resistance in hybrids of garden strawberries varies greatly. I chose 2 varieties, one ever-bearing and will bear fruit several times per season, and another July strawberry variety, for the simple reason that there are always berries in the container. For planting, I need a wide but not very deep pot, because the roots of strawberries do not grow deeper than 25 centimeters. The soil mixture must provide good drainage and aeration, and the best thing is to mix black soil with river sand and peat. Black soil is rich with humus, organic matter. Peat moss and sand will provide drainage and aeration. I also need a little wood ash to increase the pH level, since strawberries prefer neutral soil and the peat slightly acidifies it. And also the use of wood ash is not only a fertilizer, but it ensures good absorption of all nutrients that are in the soil due to slight alkalization. When the soil is ready and well mixed, I can start planting. It is not necessary to plant strawberries too tightly. The distance between the plants should be at least 10 to 15 centimeters. It is simply wrong to plant strawberry plants very deep. The rosette should be at the level of the soil. I also never bend the root part. It's always better to remove excess root parts in order to ensure new growth. Having planted it, I make sure I do not forget to water it. Garden strawberries do not belong to drought-resistant plants. It is always necessary to keep the soil wet. And to do this, it is better to mulch it with sawdust or straw to retain moisture. Mulching protects the berries from slugs, but for earwigs, on the contrary, this is a great place to breed and to hide. So I do not mulch the soil, especially in pots. Strawberries prefer to grow in the full sun. Growing strawberries in a container is easy and has many benefits. Such a pod can be placed anywhere, on your walkway, your driveway, or balcony, wherever there's a lot of sun. Plants that are grown in pots slightly above the ground are much less affected by pests and diseases such as Phytophthora, for example, or the fungus Rosaceae. Even slugs need to crawl onto the pot first to feast on strawberries, which happens much less often. I have observed that plants that grow in containers in the garden are much less susceptible to pests, and this is good for those who, like me, prefer to do everything naturally, organically, and without any chemicals. Almost all modern strawberries that are now grown commercially, Fragaria annanasia, are octoploid hybrids, which means that the 7 chromosomes of a normal plant are multiplied and repeated 8 times as a result of genetic modifications. Therefore, as a result of the natural hybridization barrier, they are not generally propagated by seeds, and seed propagation is complicated and takes up to 15 months until the first crop. New hybrids appear on the market all the time, and old ones gradually disappear. New does not always mean better. Apparently, it is simply easier and more profitable to sell them, since new variety equals a new patent. But I still give preference to the good old hybrids, and therefore I prefer to maintain the number of my bushes by vegetative propagation. And this is easy to do in a pot. Many recommend removing the runners, apparently to increase the size of the berries, and also because the runners supposedly suck strength from the mother plant. But I noticed that the rooted runners, not only do they not suck any energy or strength, either from the resulting ripening berries, nor from the mother plant, but on the contrary, they create a communication system, kind of a biological network, that greatly improves access to nutrients, resources for the entire plant, to moisture, new territory, and so on. because strawberry runners play a role not only in vegetative propagation, but also in the search for new resources and territory. I have noticed many times when the mother plant, after rooting the runners around it, simply blossomed before our eyes. So I apologize if I destroyed anybody's stereotypical thinking. In Canada, a strawberry bush in a garden center costs around $5 to $10. And not everyone knows that a strawberry plant lives and bears fruit only for 3 to 4 years. So strawberry plantings require constant rejuvenation. The scheme is simple. In the first year of its existence, a strawberry plant from runners only grows and does not bear fruit. From seeds, it needs even more time. Sometimes in the first year of the plant's existence, frail single-flowered peduncles are formed in some hybrids. Then these are most often barren flowers or very small berries. In the second year, the plant begins to bear fruit with a good harvest. The maximum number of berries is harvested from the strawberry plant in the third year. Then in the fourth year, the yield decreases, but it still remains high. In the fifth year, the plant must be removed and replaced with a new one. And that's the whole story. Best of all, if you want to have a stable harvest every year, then plant exactly as many young strawberry plants each year as you remove old ones. For example, I need 20 new bushes, so that's approximately $130 to $200. So I grow them myself, just pinning the runners of the strawberry plants into smaller pots around my strawberry containers or just into the ground around. If some accidentally broke off, then it can be planted and covered with a glass jar, as it's just a cutting and it will take only about 5 to 6 days for rooting, and then after the jar can be removed. The size of the runner plants don't really matter because in the first year of its appearance, the strawberries will grow and gain strength and biomass. And a few words about wintering. If you have cold winters with frost stronger than negative 15 degrees Celsius, then you cannot leave the strawberries overwinter outside in a pot. In other hands, it depends on the variety. For example, everbearing varieties are usually more frail and require more shelter for the winter, so it's better to return strawberries from a pot to garden soil and cover with straw or sawdust. And if this is not possible, put a pot with strawberries for the winter in a shelter, like a garage or a safe place where there is no critical drop in temperature.